Hi, I'm Andrew back with Multiverse of Color. How are we doing today, Karen?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good despite this very emotional episode that we gotta talk about because this will be a postmortem for episode 7 and girl, it does not get easy to rewatching it.
Oh,
So I guess I gotta start with were you told at the beginning of the season or did you find out when you read the script for this episode how Kimiko and Frenchie's story was going to end?
oh, I I was told at the beginning of the season, we all had a meeting with Kripke individually, and we were told sort of the fate of our characters. We did not know how it was going to happen, and we also didn't know when it was going to happen. So this season was, I was sort of bracing myself every episode when I would read the new one coming in. Um, because you just never know. I mean, in episode one, A Train goes, and that was a huge shocker to me. I think that really put into perspective um, uh, that nobody was safe this season.
Yeah.
And it also made me really sad because we became really close. We're a tight-knit family, and I love Jesse so much. And I thought I had, 8 to 9 months of being able to hang out with him offset in Toronto. And sure enough, he was gone after the first month. So that made me really sad. And Frenchie's death really weighed heavy on me. I just knew that that would be a really emotional moment for not only me personally, but also as Kimiko. And I had a really hard time with it, to be honest. I, it was weighing heavy on me for months. When I read the episode, I, I said, great writing, tragedy. It's perfect for the show,
Yeah.
but I hate it so much. Yeah, it just makes me so sad, and it really felt like the character was dying, and he did, but I don't know how to explain it. It's just, um, it felt very real to me, and I I miss the character so much. I One thing I noticed, um, in this process is that Tomera, who plays Frenchie,
Yeah.
he has a version of himself in real life in Toronto that has an essence or an element of Frenchie ingrained in him. And I don't know if every actor has this while they're filming. It's not method because he's not Frenchie all the time, offset, but there's just this like air about him that screams Frenchie. And whenever I see him months later after rap at a press event or something, he is fully just Tomer and no Frenchie. And it's like I'm seeing a whole different person. It's uncanny. It's very, very weird, very odd feeling. But um, I was at dinner with him one time and I said, I feel like once Frenchie dies in this episode, and then you go back to being Tomer, like I will actually never get to meet and see and hang out with Frenchie ever again. And he said, yeah, that's actually kind of true. I feel like I put on mannerisms or I say certain things, um, even when I'm just myself as Tomer, while we're filming. There's just a quality about him that is not there anymore. And I miss it. I miss it so much. I feel like it's probably the same way with me and Kimiko too. Like my um, Karen is very different in Toronto. There's an essence of Kimiko in there somewhere, I'm sure.
Well, obviously, I know you can't give away too much for the finale, which I haven't seen, so I don't know what's coming up. But are you, Karen, personally satisfied with where Kimiko ends after 5 seasons of lots of blood, lots of killing off, and killing other people, and now finally talking? Like, are you personally satisfied with where she ends?
Hard question to answer. Hard question to answer without giving anything away. What I will say is I am really happy with where she ends up. Um, I'm just so sad that Frenchie's not there. You know? I just really wish that they had a happy ending. But I don't know if that would have been the right choice. I think it served the story, and I think it also serves her story, to be honest, and her message and her arc. So I don't think it was the wrong choice. I do just like kind of miss their dynamic together.
And for one of my final questions, because Kimiko in so many ways has been a huge representation since the show introduced her and really elevated her from what we knew of her in the comics. So what do you hope Hollywood learns? For anyone who's been following her story for the last 5 seasons, what do you hope they learn from a character like Kimiko when it comes to representing Japanese women in what it is, future films, TV shows, novels, what have you? Like, what do you hope they take away from what you did with this character for 5 seasons?
Yeah, I think representation is really, really important. And this is such a funny like play on words, but I think giving a voice to people like us can and is very giving a voice to people like us is very important. And I think that it can change someone's life, someone viewing it. It gives uh, a little girl somewhere out there hope. It gives them also permission to live loudly and to speak up and um, to be confident in who she is just because of who she is rather than having to prove herself. Um, and so, yeah, I hope that Hollywood gives us a voice because they gave Kimiko a voice and it's worked out well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, despite the TikTok of it all, like that was the funniest line of all time when like
Oh
I've
my
been
God.
watching so much TikTok. But I got to wrap, but been a huge fan of you since Suicide Squad, and I cannot wait to see what you do after this. So congrats on a phenomenal final season, despite how emotional it's been. So but thank you. I cannot wait to see what you do next.
Thank you so much.